Hey everybody, welcome back. Monday Morning Briefing, episode number 152, and it is Wednesday, October the 15th. We've been in the shop kind of off and on all weekend, just kind of monitoring the sale that we had this past weekend. Want to thank everybody that took advantage of that. It's pretty interesting because we kind of looked at some of the numbers. It kind of seems like we were up just a little bit on material pack specifically from this sale last year. So our sales usually run around the same time, and this is usually the first one to kick off the fall season or our Christmas season as leather crafters, that where you're going to be getting a few more orders than normal, right? And so we always like to see that because that tells us that the industry is doing good and people are wanting to buy stuff. And so that's great for you. It's great for us, great for all the industry there, that some of the consumers out there that, just want to get a belt made for their dad for Christmas, or they want to get a purse made for their mom, or whatever it might be. That's always a way for us to kind of look at that, right? Historically, we'd always just look at our orders personally, how many orders are we up or down? But now being on this side of the table, kind of producing resources and information and products for you guys, we're able to kind of look at it from a little bit different angle. And so talking to some of our friends in the industry that are also vendors and suppliers, I think they're seeing a little bit of that too. But hopefully that's across the board. But congratulations if you're getting lots of orders. I'm happy about that. You always want to kind of keep your finger on the pulse of the economy, see what's happening just generally overall. But it seems like the fall is going to be busy. Hopefully, we'll be excited about that, that everybody's got plenty of Christmas orders. I know one person that said they're about to close their books already, so that's great. Now, how many orders is that? Who knows? Everybody's a little different, right? One guy may be 100 tickets, 100 orders. One guy may be 10, right? Just depends. Might have a full-time job, full family, this and that, not able to devote, 10 hours a day to this. So, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, we hope you have fun with it this Christmas, this fall season as we get into that, because we are in full swing. We've had a few cool mornings down here in South Texas, which are nice, but by about 1 o'clock, it's already back up to in the 90s. So we're definitely not wearing jackets yet. So when you see me in a jacket on a Monday video, you'll know that we have leveled out for fall down here. Until then, we'll just keep sweating. Real quick, what we've been working on. So we got the sale through, got most of the orders out. I've got a few here I've got to cut for this morning. So if your order hasn't moved, they're waiting on me, right? We cut a ton of stuff this weekend. I cut a bunch of stuff Monday. Monday obviously was a holiday, so nothing left Monday. We packaged a lot, but nothing went anywhere because it's a holiday Monday, and so the post office wasn't running. So we weren't able to actually physically get anything out, but all of that left yesterday that was packaged on Monday. So if you forgot that Monday was a holiday because you had to work, just remember, nothing we could do about that. So that always kind of throws a little bit of a kink in there. But got all that done. Got a few more things to cut first thing this morning. Claudia will be in. Robin is out probably till Friday. They've got some stuff they're doing, and she busted it Monday and Tuesday, just trying to help us. Like I said, she comes in when we run a sale or something. She's going to be in here giving us a hand. So we've got some of that going. I've been working on my saddle. I've also been working on some other projects, potentially a project video. One being the two saddles that we built before Waco. You can go back on our Instagram around August and see both of those. It was a tool roper and then a rough out ranch saddle. That gentleman wanted some breast collars to match, and so we went ahead and put those on an order and went ahead and got those built. I've got the 3-piece tooled one to match that roper over there. But this is the one I wanted to show you. This is what's called a pulling collar. Some people call them a tripping collar. But this is kind of traditional because this one has this wither strap. And the wither strap is kind of an old style. They haven't done these. They're coming back into popularity. I've seen some guys at ranch rodeos with them, seen them on ranches, seen guys using them for many, many years, but they're not as popular as what we normally see for breast collars. But the wither strap, all it does, it goes on just like a normal tripping collar or solid one-piece pulling collar. But what it does is basically, instead of 4 tug straps off of this D, that's how I do it. If I'm wrong, y'all can, do the research historically and find out what was actually historical. But from what I've seen and done, it always is I put 1 tug strap on this D versus a tripping collar will have 2, one to the girt D and one to the rigging D. We put 1 on here because then you have this wither strap that goes right across the wither. So once you put it on there, it'll go over his neck, right there at the withers in front of your saddle. And that just ensures that the breast collar stays up a little bit like that. And it's a really good brace. The nice thing about these is I put a lot more drop in the front than I normally do. We've been working on a new tripping collar pattern because I don't particularly like tripping collars from a tactical perspective. They're nice, they're pretty, you know, you can tool the event, you know, booger barter roping, whatever these ropings that I grew up, you know, seeing these guys with these breast collars, those you can put a lot of writing on them, so they make great gifts, awards, stuff like that. The thing I don't like about a lot of them is they don't have enough drop right here in the front. And that drop is important for their airway, obviously, the horse's airway. And so as he pulls against that collar, and that, especially particularly on a head horse, when that pressure gets on there, if that saddle scoots back even a little bit, that collar will go up. There's nothing on the front to keep that collar down. And so it can get up into their airway pretty quickly, and a horse will quit working. He's not dumb. He's not going to pull through and suffocate. He's going to just stop pulling. And so a lot of guys think that their horse is quitting them. It's quitting them because he can't breathe. And so that's why I really don't like those type of breast collars. But if you put enough drop on there where these high points are at a good location on the shoulder, it'll keep that from being able to do that. It's not a fix all everything all the time, but it is helpful to be sure and add enough drop in that front center section. But that's why I prefer the 3-piece breast collar that we've done a video for. We do have a pattern pack for, but I prefer that one. Always have tried to kind of steer my customers into getting that one, because you've got that center down strap that goes to the front cinch down up under in between his legs there, and that will keep the breast collar down. So no matter how hard he pulls or what the saddle does, it shouldn't get up into his airway there and kind of cut him off there and make him quit. So just kind of food for thought, just something. But this breast collar here, I really like it. A lot of the cowboys are starting to request these. I had a couple in this weekend, real nice guys. Met one of them I know, he's got the barbecue joint behind us, good friend of mine, but then met one of his buddies who he lives right outside of town here, and never met him before, but real nice guy. And they were really, really interested in that style of breast collar. So we might do a pattern pack for this. We might do a project video for this. This one's just single ply. There's no liner, nothing like that on there. So goes together pretty easy, kind of fun, and looks kind of ranchy. So that's always a good thing. The other project that we worked on and have been working on, and we put a few sneak peeks out there over the last few weeks, maybe even a couple of months. It took me a while to kind of get this one ironed out, but is the boot bag. And many of y'all might have seen, if you follow us on Instagram, we did a little reel last night, just kind of announcing that, shared the video. The video is up. So we have a new project video out for building the leather cowboy boot bag. And so if you're wanting to build something unique, have some type of product in your store, if you have a store where your customers can kind of maybe think about that for a Christmas gift for somebody in their life, or if you just have somebody you want to make one of these for, maybe a son-in-law or daughter-in-law or something's got some fancy boots, and maybe they travel a little bit and you need a real nice flashy case to put your boots in when you travel, then this is the project. It is a lot of fun. It's a bag, basically. So if you've built a few bags, this one's a great one to give a shot. It is a little bit tricky on this gusset right here, which if you go watch the video, you'll see what I do. It's not that complicated, but it is something you got to pay attention and be sure you're watching what you're doing there. But yeah, it's been fun. This was a fun project. Now I tell you in every one of these videos to be sure and sign up for the Leathercraft newsletter at our website. Talked to a couple of y'all at Wichita Falls and actually helped you do it on your phone just in about 2 seconds. But go to our website at dgsaddlery.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see a little form there that says sign up for the DG Leathercraft newsletter. You just plug your name and email in there, and then you'll be in touch with us. And anytime we send out a pre-order, like we did with this, we sent out a pre-order about a week or so ago, and the newsletter had access to go ahead and claim their copy of the first run of these. And they do that on pretty much everything. We don't have to do it on everything, but we do it a lot of times on any new product coming out. We offer to the newsletter first. So if you want early access, that's a great way to do it. But this pattern's been out. A lot of people that did the pre-order have already got this pattern, and they were waiting on that video. Had a couple calls yesterday while I was actually wrapping the video up, just doing some final comb throughs and stuff, making sure it's right. And I told them it'll be posted. I was actually going to post it today, but it was done yesterday afternoon, so we chunked it on YouTube and let everybody know. So if you think you might want to build this bag, it is not impossible. It is not a hard bag. I wouldn't even say this bag is as hard as the buckhorn bag. It's really not that difficult. The gussets or the guts are the hardest part of it, and they're not that hard. And so if you're hand sewing, might be a little much. If you've got a sewing machine, you're going to be fine. You don't have to have a bell skiver, anything like that. I did use one in the video, but you don't need one to do this project. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. Lots of room to tool. This pattern pack is available as well on the website. There is 11 tooling patterns in here. I got lazy on this one because I was frankly tired of tooling. When I got this done, I made this bag to match our show saddle this year. But it's got 11 different profile tooling patterns on there. Some of them are split, so if you need to extend the tops here for a taller pair of boots, you can still use the one of those patterns because you got a piece up here and a piece down here, so it'd be very easy to make it work. But yeah, got that in there. I've had a few people ask if we're going to do a material pack. Probably not anytime soon. There's a lot of material that goes into this, and like I said, we're doing okay to just keep the material packs we have at the moment full all the time, and so we don't run out for extended lengths of time. So we probably won't be adding this one as a material pack. Who knows? You never know with us what we're going to do. But right now, it's just a lot of material. But I had a couple people ask what weighted leather I used on there, and I was like, that's a good. I didn't mention it in the video. It is on the pattern pack, tells you weights and things. But on the outside panels, I just use 910. You could do 1012. I wouldn't go lower than 910 because you need that bag to stand up. So I wouldn't go much thinner than that, unless you're going to line it, right? If you do 5/6, then you can line it with 3/4. You're right where you need to be. That'd be fine. But yeah, somewhere around that 10 ounce, 10 ounce. So for the outside panels, be good. Just a simple bag leather of choice for your gusset system and all that. So fun bag, been a very good response. Thank you to the newsletter. I really, really appreciate y'all. They bought every one of the first run. And so we actually had to close that pre-order off, which we haven't done before. We probably should have a couple of times. But what happens is if they buy that whole first run, we're obviously before it sells out, we can tell it's going to sell out. We'll order another run, but it takes some time for us to get those in. And so in the past, when that's happened, we've had to hold a video because I don't post a video if we don't have the patterns in the shop to ship out. And it's just the way I run things. If the patterns are here, we can post a video. If they're not, we're not going to post a video because I don't want people having to wait on their pattern. I don't mind if they have to wait on the video a little bit, but the pattern is, I want to be sure we have it. So anyway, just to ensure that we didn't have to do that, I just cut the pre-orders off last week, and then and that way we knew that next run we would have plenty to be able to post a video yesterday or today, whenever we posted it. As scheduled. And so that's why we did that. But anyway, yeah, great project, a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun building that. Somebody asked what I would charge for a bag like that. I haven't priced it out, but I'll try to price it out and then get y'all a price in next week's video. And that way you'll kind of have an idea. It's not going to be cheap. I mean, that thing is, there's a lot of tooling space. It doesn't look that big, but when you get it on your bench and start tooling it, you'll find that you're there a while. If you fully tool it. You do a rough out with a brand, it's not a problem at all. You probably build one of these in a day, but the tooling is going to be a bunch and finish work and stuff. So we'll price it out, and I'll give you kind of a range on what I would do. Then you, as we always say, develop yourself a pricing strategy of something, of some process that works for you. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just need something. And then use it and price stuff. Even if you're giving stuff away, price it anyway so that you know what you're giving away. And over time, you will see the holes in your system and be able to fill those holes, take things out, put things in, change it, and let it evolve into a pricing strategy that works for you, that you prefer, right? But we, always look at the market too. I mean, if you're, $140,000 on a wallet, you're probably not ever going to sell one. But if it takes you, 385 days to build a wallet, you probably got to charge something like that, right? Time is time. Time is time, but also what we're doing somewhat is art, one-off piece, very custom. So time and material sometimes is a portion of the pricing, but not the end-all, be-all. Some things are worth what they're worth. We've talked about that many times in podcasts and things like that, but a belt will fetch way more profit margin than a flank cinch for a saddle. There's a lot more work, a lot more material, a lot more hardware in a flank cinch than there is a belt. But a belt is a luxury item, a personal item, a daily use item, a style thing. It's an added piece of somebody's wardrobe, and so you can fetch a little higher, a much higher profit margin on those type of things than you can on utilitarian tack and things like that. So just got to kind of look at it. But price is price, and so you've got to have some type of strategy. What else is going on? We're in the, like I said, in the shop for the rest of the year. We are working on some other projects. I've got some other project videos going. We've got a bunch of videos that we're making, tip videos and things like that. We're really trying to pump out as much content as possible by the end of the year, just so that we can start next year because of what else we've got working. We need to be on that mode, and so this is kind of a training for me. So if you see a lot of videos from me and a lot of reels or Claudia's TikToks, things like that, we're trying to get into that mode because sometimes we get distracted and we get focused and then we don't post anything, and that's not good for y'all. And it's obviously not good for us business-wise. We got to keep out there, but it's mainly because we've got something cool coming, and we want to just go ahead and be in that mode of, it's just second nature. It's what we do every day, and that way we're creating quality too. We're learning some about editing things and ways to deliver messages that are a little easier and more concise for you, so that the message comes through a lot clearer. So we're working on that and just having fun with it. And so we did add a different, or we're adding a little different style of video. I have always, since I started, I have put some type of cooking video on our Instagram, particularly. Even before YouTube, I would always post what I was barbecuing or whatever. If you go back through there, you'll see those sprinkled in. It's not the main focus of our channel. Came here for leather, right? You're not here for barbecue necessarily, but we all have byproduct we've got to do something with. It's not, you got all this leather, but now what do you do with this scrap stuff that's left? Well, I guess we'll cook it. So let's learn to cook. So we're doing that. I have been, I've always done that, and so we're looking at that, and I thought, well, I'm bad about not eating during the day. I'm bad about just kind of getting rolling. And so we used to have a smoker here at the shop, which made it nice because we could do some long cooks during the day, and then we had dinner made when we get home. Because when we get home, we got to feed the barn, kids want to ride, whatever's going on. Maybe we got 4-H thing or something like that, a meeting that's late or whatever. We get in at 8 o'clock. It's too late to start trying to figure out what you're going to cook, right? So that's why we had it. We had it in there, had it back there for a year or so, and ended up getting rid of that one and then just didn't have one here. And so I ended up getting one for the shop, and that way mainly I could be sure and have something cooking for lunch, even if it's just some sausage or leftover steak or whatever it is. I can at least heat some stuff up and have something to eat so that I will eat. And I'm fine. I'm bad about not eating till I get home. Because I'm not a big lunch guy. I don't like going to eat lunch because it kills an hour and a half of time. I've never had that much time I was willing to devote to eating. When I eat, it's for sustenance. I love to cook, but I'm not as big on going and sitting and eating and all that stuff. So when we had the shop with all the guys in it, they always wanted to go to lunch, and I very rarely went just because I had things to do. I've got stuff to do, and I don't like being out of my shop that long for just lunch. So anyway, we've done that, and we may start posting. We've posted one or two. I did one last night of us cooking dinner at the house in Dutch oven, did picadillo, which is, we've done that a lot. I've posted a lot of that on there. A lot of you didn't know what that was. It's just a hash, basically, but Mexican hash. But I have a way of making it, and I've had a lot of people email or just call, or I've talked to people at shows, and like, man, I gotta have the recipe. That looks really good. It's really easy to make. But me and Claudia were sitting in there last night, got home a little bit early, and we're just doing some stuff in the barn, and I thought, I'm gonna make this outside, and we just ended up catching a few little shots and stuff like that. I basically put my video on there as a reel. So if you've been wanting that, you can certainly go to YouTube or our Facebook or Instagram and watch that reel. It'll pretty much show you what I did. It's pretty self-explanatory. But we're going to be working on doing just a few videos. I'm not going to bombard you with it, but I'll throw a few different reels on there of cooking stuff, and might put some recipes out there, things like that. Just some things that I do. And see what happens. But I feel like they kind of go together. Barbecue and leather work. I've met so many leather workers that are big-time barbecue folks. I've got one guy that's an actual been in Texas Monthly. He's been in a lot of things, and he's a barbecue pitmaster and won competitions, travels around, does a lot of things, and it just kind of goes together. If you like cooking while you're waiting on the brisket to smoke, you can be making a wallet. Or you can be tooling a belt, or working on your embossing skills, or working on a saddle, whatever. So I just think it goes hand in hand. So anyway, you may see a few more of those. We're going to try it out. Today I'm not doing anything real exciting. All I'm doing is I've got a pork butt that we cooked, I don't remember, end of last year, earlier this year, smoked it and just froze it. I just smoked it because I was out there and doing it. And so we just smoked it, froze it, and so it's done. So we'll just be heating that up today for dinner tonight, because I've got I've got a board meeting with the Ag Livestock Show board this evening, and then we've got a 4-H meeting as well, kids do. And so tonight's going to be a little busy evening. So we're going to go out to the cut room, and we're going to start cutting, and I'm going to cut up our cut list. Some of y'all have seen, this is what Robin makes me, big old long cut list, lots of stuff to cut so that we can fill. I try to keep the bins filled, but we're always missing something. So I usually get a cut list every day. So anyway, we're going to cut that, have these last shipments roll out of here, and then work on some projects. I got some fun stuff. We might see the breast collar. I might do that breast collar for you guys. I've had a lot of people ask about that, and so we sure might do that. Outside of that, guys, we're just rolling in the shop, just doing stuff. We did have a class scheduled for next week, a belt class, but nobody signed up for it. It's really close now to the class, and probably be hard for people to get kind of lined out. It is a Monday, Tuesday, so that's probably part of the problem. And so we're just gonna go ahead and take it and take it down. That way, you know, if nobody signed up by now, it's fine. And that's great. We had the class last Friday that was the drawing class, and that was a lot of fun. We had a great group of guys in here. We spent all day just drawing, talking about concepts, talking about theory, laying stuff out. I laid out an entire fender on a piece of poster board for them just so they could see what decision making I was doing as I was drawing and how I kind of came up with stuff. They really seemed to enjoy that and get a lot from that. And yeah, it was great. So we're excited about that class because we've done it twice this year in the fall. And bringing it back. We used to do it before years ago, and so now we'll be doing that one in Prescott and all next year. We'll be doing them here too. So if you're wanting to get better at drawing, these little one-day drawing classes are going to be pretty, I hope they're beneficial, but it's just, it just takes time burning lead. But anyway, that class went great, and then we've got, I think there may be one spot open on our November 7th class. Go on the website and look if it's still open. I think we've got a spot left, and that is a beginner's tooling class. So if you're kind of new to tooling, but you want to really focus on your floral tooling, that's going to be a good class to come to. If you can get in, I think there's one spot open, maybe one or two, but that I think it's November 7th. It's something like that. So and that will wrap up our classes in the shop for the year, and then we'll be ready to roll for next year and get ready for our Black Friday event. Black Friday will be coming. Like I said, we will be doing that like we do every year. Big sale, Black Friday weekend. We'll start Friday at midnight and then run through Cyber Monday. So 4 days there of opportunity on stuff. Of course, we'll have some new things coming. Somebody asked about ornaments. Are we going to do the ornament thing? Yes, we are. We've got a couple ornaments we're going to get the dies made for and draw some patterns up. So we'll be doing the Christmas ornaments like we did last year. And so it'll be a lot of fun. Y'all bought a lot of those this past weekend. I guess somebody's making a bunch of gifts for Mima or something because they got a lot. I think she had me cut 70-something Christmas trees Monday. So, yeah, you guys have got the ornaments down. Y'all are doing a bunch of Christmas ornaments, so that's great. We've got a couple more. Haven't really finalized. I think we know which two we're doing, but we'll do two more. So we'll have you'll have access to the Christmas tree and the Christmas ball that we did last year. That pattern's still on the website. It's a free pattern, I believe. And then we have, this year we'll do two new ones. And so basically every year we'll just add two different shapes, two new ornaments and pattern for that specific year. And so it's just kind of fun. And then you can do whatever you want to with them. But if you want the pattern too along with us, that kind of thing, it's just a fun little oddball shape to tool on and paint it up, whatever. Give it to me while she's hanging on her tree. Pretty fun project. Great for the kids. My kids are always in here whooping around on those things because they're easy to click out and roll with. So that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to be just rocking along here. Be sure and go check out the new project video, the boot bag. Podcast-wise, we do have a podcast coming out. Interviewed a very nice gentleman that is he's working with leather, but it's not our leather. It's a little different, but he does phenomenal work. Great educator, young man. He does a really good job. And so we're wrapping up the editing on that one. Been a little crazy since we did his interview because we had some travel in there and then had a show in there as well. So we will wrap that up, get back on track, get some lined up for the fall, hopefully, and get some of those going. I've got a few guys that I've reached out to. They've confirmed they want to do it, but it's a matter of getting the response back on what day, right? They're not as into their messaging. I don't have their number, so we'd have to work around that and kind of see if we get them lined up. But lots of fun. I appreciate you guys watching this. We got more videos coming at you, and thank you very much for everybody that took part of the sale. Be sure to go to dgsaddlery.com, sign up for the Leathercraft newsletter, and we'll see you guys next week in the Monday Morning Briefing.